The free-to-play model can be a good one. It allows people to give a safe experience with games, and if they don't like it, they don't gotta worry about refunds. It even allows the boys to decide on a game with a low-budget homie that can't really afford anything. Y'all know who you are. I pray for you every night. However, as of recently, the free-to-play model has become rather tiresome in a lot of games, and a lot of games do it wrong, and very few games do it right. So from my knowledge as a gamer, I made a very soft tier list of free-to-play games that I think are very bad, just to free-to-play games that I think are very good. And I don't just mean gameplay-wise, I mean, is the game still keeping up with its audience? Is it, like, fresh? Is it good, actually? So starting at the very bottom of my list, we have Overwatch 2. Now I could hark on it as much as I want. It isn't a real sequel, it's more like a glorified update. But my main issue with the game is it saw the free-to-play model and it didn't change it at all or make it unique in their own way. To go off on a small side tangent here, I truly believe the only reason people keep coming back to Overwatch is what I like to call the world syndrome. Now this is going to be important later, so keep it in mind, please. What I mean by that is that the characters are interesting, the lore of the world is interesting, so people keep coming back to it. I remember I came back in the latest season when they introduced Malga. I think he was a really neat looking guy, dual chain guns on each hand. I wanted to play something like that for hella long. And then I stopped again because I realized, well, okay, they added a new character, but it's still the same old game underneath this not even new coat of paint. It's like someone just casually signed their name on this coat of paint. For the sake of conversions, I'm just gonna convert the currency into what it actually is in dollars. So we don't have to say, well, you're technically paying 20, but you still have money left over. Alright, I just kinda hopped on to see what the shop is these days, and this is what it looks like. Now they did improve one thing, that the skins that were free in Overwatch 1, keep that in mind, they knocked down to about $10, $15 if it's a seasonal skin from what I'm guessing here. But $10, $10, $15 for a bundle. New stuff, still expensive. 19, 19, 19. You want the two of them, you can pay 22. Pretty good. This might be the most generous bundle they've done in a fucking while, because you can just burn the $20 deal and get this. They improved their greediness over the years. I like to think ever since Mr. Bobby stepped out that they've gotten a bit better. Still hasn't gotten ideal, but it got better. I will give them that, and that's pretty much the only uptick I'm giving them. As you know, they also have the $10 Battle Pass, which I was able to thankfully buy, which this is the other thing they do right. Through their weekly challenges, you can get coins, and you can just like scrape together a bunch of spare coins that you have. It's how I got this battle pass. After I bought this fucking Brig skin, I had enough cash leftovers to where the point of I played enough to get enough coins for a battle pass, but fuck me if it wasn't a dredge. Gabo remembers it. Last season I was just scraping together what I had, fucking grinding every bloody week just to be able to afford the next battle pass. I wanted to tear off my skin throughout the entire encounter. Anyways, but yeah, that's Overwatch. Halo Infinite, a game I don't have, but it still kind of falls under the egregious pricing. However, it does one thing right, and I'm just going to go over it briefly. The fact that you can buy a battle pass and then continue it in the next season, I feel like is a great fucking move. Like, I bought this thing, I own this thing, and you're telling me after this season it's not gonna be existent anymore if I choose not to play this season? But yeah, that's all I have to say about Halo Infinite. I'm kind of putting it in a gray category just above Overwatch, because I feel bad if I would hark on it too badly, but I still don't think it's all that good of a game from what I've seen and heard. Now, time for something I've really been itching to bash on about. Apex Legends. It suffers from the same character thing that Overwatch does. The only reason why I truly believe people keep coming back is the characters and the universe it's set in. I don't think I can be convinced that people are still playing Battle Royale this entire time and still paying out the ass for cosmetics. Now, Apex does one thing right, and only one thing. Loot boxes. Loot boxes kind of takes the pressure off the pay-to-drip system, but only a little bit to make people think that it's a fair developer team behind it. And then said developer team will do a complete 180 and charge you 120 bucks if you want a death box skin. A fucking death box skin, something you can't even fucking see until you die. Actually, I decided to do a bit of independent research here in case I was wrong. Might have gone off on too long of a rant. And apparently, it's $360 for a death box skin. I'm not getting over this. I'm fucking... What the hell? Even if, you know, those outrageous prices, those are optional prices, alright? Those are optional. You don't have to buy them. And look at this. I even fucking fell for the trap like fucking so many times now. This is my fucking PC account. Didn't cross over with my fucking Xbox account, thank God. Because I would have lost this. I think this was $20 whole. Just because I think, ooh, Superman, very cool. And I got fucking tricked. I was bamboozled by these devs. Again, sporting the $10 battle pass. Shop, just as expensive as ever. 18 bucks, 10 bucks. These are actually alright. You know, I could argue for their existence. However, if you don't have the base, then you can't buy the other one, even if you have the right amount of currency. Which sucks an unbelievable amount of ass. 18 bucks, 25 bucks. Can't get this skin any other way, I believe. Royal Huntmaster, let's go check to see if it pulls in Overwatch. See if it's actually there to buy for myself. Can't help but notice it's not here. 25 bucks or nothing at all. Now we're on to Fortnite, which, you know, kind of started this whole ordeal. So really, I should be making it the black cat of it all. But with it being how it evolved and how it grew, I think it deserves a spot above Apex. Their V-Buck bundles are cheaper these days, which I'm pretty sure originated from some sort of controversy, but still, buying the same amount of currency but at a cheaper rate means that technically the prices in the shop go down, all of them, which is very good. Alright, so the Fortnite shop still isn't, you know, it isn't like a godsend from Apex, it still follows the style. Basically, expensive as hell to get an emote, 8 bucks. 800 for something you swing around, which admittedly is a little bit cheaper than what you swing around in Apex for about $120. Skin is 15 bucks. The most expensive thing I can find, 15, is a 15 buck skin. Unless you're insane enough to like buy this fucking car, which I don't think anyone is insane enough for that. Give the world's own quest line, mainly the daily challenges. You see these three right here. You can actually earn V-Bucks. Remember how Overwatch gives you like 30 at most, then 2010? If you convert those into cents, that is about 60 cents a week. Here, 80 cents a pop, and $1.30. It's good stuff. The only real main reason I'm placing Fortnite above Apex is mainly because they aren't going to charge you $120 for your punchy weapon that doesn't do a lot of damage. However, I'll admit I kicked the dead horse of Apex a tad bit too long. I'll just end the note saying that if you're going to support a company that actively listens to its fan base instead of a company that's wanting to squeeze every single dollar out of your pocket and try to justify it any way they can. Now for our honorable mentions, we're going to first start with the finals. The finals, taking a step back from it and all the hype it's been getting, is very mediocre. I think the only good thing it has going for it is that you can drip out your character with individual items on the head, face, arms, wrist, hands, so on and so forth, allowing for a more unique customization of the character if you wish to go that route. However, with it only having one season under its belt, chances are you're not going to be able to make that many unique and decent looking combinations. Combined with the very low game modes it has, I believe it has 2 because I don't know if I would count Tournament as its own individual game mode, meaning that the game has a lot holding it back. It has a lot going for it, but it honestly needs to step up if it wants to stay alive, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's gonna just really ick me the way it runs its business. Another honorable mention we have is VR chat. VR chat has been a really helpful tool to me as a creator, and people, believe it or not, play it as a game. Now, the way VR chat stays monetized, keeps its servers running, is by doing what Discord does with its whole Nitro thing. It asks people if they want to pay a membership for their services, and a lot of people do. And those people usually dwell in VR chat a lot longer than I do. Which, you know, good on them, keeping the service free, keeping the service good, all that jazz. It's a simple game, it does what a title says, and sometimes there's game modes in it made by other people. I think it just deserves a bit of a pat on the back when compared to other free-to-play titles. Now for a dishonorable mention, because I'm tired of kicking on Apex, it's time to kick on COD's dead horse. Not a free-to-play game, but it has a free-to-play model behind it. Battle Pass, in-game store, still asks you for the full game price at the storefront with a straight face. Once again, with Bobby Kotick stepping out, I hope that this changes, and I hope that it actually produces a good game. But like I said, this is kind of just a weird little side rant of a game that requires full price, yet uses the free game model. Sucks absolute ass. Now for the game that I believe deserves to be at the top of the free-to-play tier list. And I am gonna get some hate on it, and I probably deserve it. I've gotten a little too emotional throughout this video. I digress. The top game is TF2. Now let's cover the downsides of this game because it has plenty of downside. First off, practical dev abandonment of the game. Valve doesn't dedicate many, if any, resources to this game anymore, leaving it to the community. So all the new in-store stuff we're getting is mostly community-based. New emotes, new cosmetics, all that comes from the hard-working hands of people who love the game. At the very least, we are getting new cosmetics and new weapon skins, alongside new emotes that really showcase the character's personality, but it's still not as great as getting new weapons, new game modes, and new maps. On top of that, we have a bot problem still going on in TF2, which has never really been solved by Valve. They made efforts into solving it, but they really only put a band-aid on the bleeding wound that is the bot crisis. Downsides now aside, let's move on to the better aspects of the game. The weapons are insanely easy to come by. Weapon drops will naturally come to you as you play the game, but if you want something now, you can head over to the community market and find a, how shall I say, a unique variant of the item, whether it's a kill streak or a weapon with a skin slapped on it, and you can buy that for usually under $1. Now same goes with cosmetics. You can have 3 cosmetics on your character, allowing a completely unique taste to your character. Chances are, unless you go with a very specific item set that were all released within the same time period, one heavy is rarely going to be like another if you have all 3 slots filled. Overall though, despite me patting this game on the back again a lot, there's still one issue. The free-to-play model is becoming really dried out and honestly annoying. I hate pay to drip. I just want to show off what I have in front of my friends. I'm no game designer. I don't think I could come up with a good, reasonable idea on how to make a good free-to-play game. But I think that the constant asking for handouts is completely tiresome at this point. I'd rather just pay for a game at this point than have to pay every now and then, which eventually accumulates to over what a full game price would be. I would just get rid of the free-to-play option entirely at this point. If you're gonna have a free-to-play model in a game, at the very least make there a way for us to get our own cosmetics through our own actions, like loot boxes or doing in-game things like challenges to get weapon skins or cosmetic skins through the drop system like TF2 has. Really it's just spitballing at this point. Now, this video is not going to reach the ears of anybody. I know my channel size and my past videos, although I've hit some good niche audiences, this isn't falling under any audience niche. This is more just a weird rant coming from a guy who's a little tired of having to break out his wallet every so often. This has been the Mason's Forge, and I suppose I'll see you guys in the next video where I end off this whole January video creating thing. Peace out.